Okay guys, we're doing more with probability today. So Unit 11, Day 4, written out the notes for you. So go ahead and copy those down. We'll go through those quickly, so feel free to pause if you need to write those down again. So one of the new vocabulary words this unit is mutually exclusive. So that means there's no overlap on what we're talking about today. So you'll see what that means when we dive into our lesson. Also, there's the OR formula. So we'll talk about that a little bit in probability. So write out this example here. So it's the probability of A or B. So you will write out the probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of both. So for example, we did a lot of work with the face cards and the playing cards the other day. So here's an example. So the probability of a club or a 10. So we have a chance of it being 13 out of 52 if it's a club, 4 out of 52 if it's a 10. So we'll add those together, and then we're going to subtract the probability of both, which would be 1 out of 52. So our total would be 16 out of 52. And then the very last thing we're going to talk about today is the Venn diagram method. So we're going to use kind of the same example that we just used, probability of club or 10. So for this, I think you guys are familiar with the Venn diagram from physics. So take a look at that. It's the overlapping circles. So over here on the left, I have the probability of the club only. On the right, I have the probability of the 10 only. And then in the middle, I have how many I have of both. So let's start with number 1 here. It says each student cast 1 vote for senior class president. Of the students, 25% voted for Hunt, 20% for Klein, and 55% for Villa. A student from the senior class is selected at random. So what is the probability that a student voted for Klein or Villa? We're going to use the same method that we just talked about up top. So we have 100%, so that's going to be our total. So we start with 100 on the bottom for both of those. So what's the probability a student voted for Klein? So we'll look at our example, and it's 20 out of 100. Or Villa was 55 out of 100. So we did the probability of those first two minus the probability of both of them, which would be 0. So our total comes out to be 75 over 100, or 3/4. So look at number 2. Number 2 says a card drawn from a deck of 52. A card is drawn from a deck of 52. Find the probability of each. So we're drawing a king or a heart. So we will start with 52 for both of those. So we'll put 52 in the bottom. So drawing a king, so we have 4 kings possible. To draw a heart, we have up to 13. And then the possibility of drawing both of those would be just 1, so we're going to subtract that. So 4 over 52 plus 13 over 52 minus 1 over 52 equals 16 over 52, which is going to reduce down to 4/13. And the last one on this page, drawing a red card or a face card, which is a jack, queen, king here for our example. So again, we're going to start with 52. So we'll have 52 on the bottom. So I'm going to write out adding the first 2 together and subtracting the third. So drawing a red card. So half of our deck is red. So 52 divided by 2 is going to give us 26. Or a face card. So that's our jack, queen, king, or ace. So that's 4 times, or jack, queen, king, excuse me, not the ace. So jack, queen, king. So we have 4 of those each. So 4 times 3 is going to give us 12. And the likelihood that we would have both, so we're going to look at how many red jacks, queens, and kings we would have. So that would be half. Half would be black and half would be red. So that would be minus 6. So 26 plus 12 minus 6 is going to give us 32 over 52, which is going to reduce down to 8 over 13. So that's the first page. Go ahead and flip over. We're going to do some probability with the die right here. So number 3 says find each probability on a die. So we're looking here. Rolling a 4 or an even number. So we're going to do the same thing for a die. We have 6 sides, so we're going to have plus 6, and then minus 6. So rolling a 4, only one out of the 6 is going to be a 4. Even numbers on our die is going to be a 2, 4, and 6. So that's going to be 3 options. And then it says the probability of both rolling a 4 or an even number. So a 4 is an even number, so that's 1 of 6. So that gives us 3/6, which is going to reduce down to 1/2. Same thing again for B, rolling an odd number or a number greater than 2. So we'll start with our 6 in the bottom. So rolling an odd number, again, that's a 1, 3, and 5. So that's giving us 3 options. A number greater than 2, so that excludes 1 and 2. So that gives us 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that's 4 options. And then we're going to subtract both. So an odd number that's greater than 2. So that would be 3 and 5. So that gives us 2 options. So when we combine all of those together, we end up with 5/6. And then the very last one that we have here, it says of 160 beauty spa customers, 96 had a hairstyling and 61 had a manicure. There were 28 customers who had only a manicure. What is the probability that a customer had a hairstyling or a manicure? So let's look at the total number we have of all of our customers. So we have 160 beauty spa customers. So we're going to say, what's the probability? So I'm going to write it out so you guys can see from the words here. The probability of a hairstyling plus the probability of a manicure minus the probability of both. So look at the information we have given. We have 160 as our total. So that goes in the bottom. And how many did we have with hair? 96. And then our manicure, we had 61. And those that had both, so we have to figure out how many were both. It's not 28. It said we had 96 with a hairstyle, 61 had a manicure, and 28 customers who only had a manicure. So we figured out from there that our number is going to be 33. So we have 33 there. So we're going to add our 96 and 61, subtract our 33, and we have 124 over 160 equals 31 over 40. And that's it for today.